Paul. In the history of the church, there's this, how shall we call it? I'm going to say incredible tradition. We'll say it like that. There's this incredible tradition of finding meaning in suffering, or finding joy, actually, in suffering. And these two apostles, they're the epitome of that. Peter was like, he suffered his whole life. He was a little bit stubborn. He was a little bit, confused at times. A lot of times he just, was like a bull in a china closet. And Paul, my gosh, he suffered with the memory of everything that he had done. And then he took that and applied that same vigor, that same energy to his new apostolic mission. But the scriptures nevertheless talk about not only their suffering, but the redemption of their suffering, that it made sense. At the end of the day, their suffering made sense. So I'm thinking now of your mother, Alice, and how she suffered, at the end especially. But suffering doesn't make any sense unless it's in Christ. Suffering doesn't make any sense unless it's for Christ. So, I'll tell you, I don't know if I even said this at the funeral, because it's been a year now, and it takes a year to process things. It takes 10 years, But I remember when we were talking about her suffering, and that the fact is that she would be suffering. And these days they want to just introduce drugs all the time. They want to pump you full of morphine and get rid of you in a day. And that's what they're doing. They're doing it right now to somebody in these hospitals, even around here. So, your mom was so against that. And there were voices telling her to do that, actually. I know this. But she was against that. She says, you know how she talks. She says, I want to face death. I want to be clear when I face death. She said it like that. I said, okay, here's the deal. Do that as much as you can. But I mean, if the pain becomes like it doesn't make sense anymore, like you're just losing your mind in pain and getting too distracted by it, to focus on Christ and to find meaning in the suffering, then take some painkiller, whatever they give you. I said, but do it as long as you can. Because she was like, she had a good spirit. And the theology is, our redemptive suffering, especially at the end of our life, goes a long way to assist with the sins we've committed in our lifetime. I'll just say that much. This is definitely in the mainstream of the church. And there are some who are teaching that it's not good teaching. Our suffering, all of our suffering, when it's put like here, at the foot of the cross and swallowed up in the resurrection of Christ, then our suffering makes sense, because the second that a person leaves this life, immediately then all that suffering is brought to bear, and is offered up to God at the judgment seat. It's a beautiful thing. So I have every confidence that is exactly the sequence that happened with your mom. Because I remember the look in her eyes, she said, no, I'm a sinner, and she, like, right to the end of her life, she said, I'm a sinner, I'm a miserable sinner, I'm no good. It was good. I like the way she said that all the time. And she was always ruthless on herself in confession, like really ruthless. Long confessions. So, God rest her soul, because I do believe that all of that culminating at the end, because somebody just asked me yesterday, what was it? They said, if I love God, can I be in hell? This was the question. Can I be in hell even if I love God, even if I have a little bit of love, even if I'm in hell, can I have a little bit of love for God? I said, it's not the teaching of the church. If you have love for God and it's real, you're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. See what I mean? And she had love for God. And I have no doubt that through our prayers, and we have to keep doing this, day after day, and year after year, we'll win this. Because God and especially offering the name, at the liturgy, in the unbloody sacrifice. And at the end of the liturgy, the priest says, "Wash away, O Lord, the sins of the servants here commemorated by thy precious blood." And all those people who have been commemorated go into the blood of Christ. And he covers them in his blood. You see that imagery? So we do that as much as we can with all of our loved ones, and especially the ones who are buried here. I do it all the time, every single service. Okay, so all of that to say, we have a deep tradition, like these two apostles. The world looks at power in a different way. They look at earthly power, and like Nero, the Emperor Nero killed these two apostles. And he has a certain reputation in history. And you know what that is. That he was a lunatic, basically. But these two, they have a different reputation. They have the reputation, of being the apostles to the universe, basically. They covered the whole known world at the time. So, you tell me, even with all their misery and suffering, and all of Nero's, lavishness and all of that, who in the end has the final kind of glory and power and riches and wisdom and strength? It's Christ's saints, okay? And especially these two. These two are very big in the calendar of the Orthodox Church. So it's a lovely day to pray for someone else who departed this life in their shadow, in their spirit. The whole idea of evangelism, or just reaching out and being the church to other people. And sometimes, many times, you never even have to open your mouth. Peter and Paul did a lot. They spoke a lot, they taught a lot, they preached a lot. But most of us won't have that ministry. Most of us, better to just be quiet and to just say what is necessary and to live the fullness, to live according to the fullness of the gospel. When we bury people, when we send them into the next life, you see how the whole life is taken into account. Not just the words that they say or whatever, but the way they lived, the way they suffered, the way they had joy, the way they celebrated, the way they celebrated on Pascha and on the feasts of the church like today, etc., etc. So once again, I had the blessing to share a lot of times of those feast days with her. And she always lived, she always remembered the fasting rhythm and the feasting rhythm of the church. Tell me that's not evangelistic. That doesn't teach you something, even if it's quiet, even if it's like nobody knows what's going on. It's very powerful. Okay, so on this holy feast day, we remember our beloved Alice. May her memory be eternal. And we have maybe a light, maybe you could, that loaf of bread, we take it outside, we cut it, okay, and we'll serve it in honor and in memory of Alice. Okay. You can just take that out after you kiss the cross. Christ is in our midst.
He is in our midst.